What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into our first news. Arman surprised fans during a recent live stream when he openly praised Dana White, despite their ongoing back and forth over the lightweight title picture. Over the past few weeks, Arman has made it clear that he believes he deserves the next title shot, while Dana White has continued to explain in interviews why that opportunity has not arrived yet. The tension has been real, but the tone shifted during a live stream with Neon, where Arman spoke candidly and respectfully about the UFC president. Arman said that what he likes most about Dana White is his willingness to help people when they are going through tough situations. He explained that Dana often steps in quietly when someone truly needs support, especially during moments of financial stress or personal hardship. Arman shared stories he has heard within the fighting community, including situations where fighters or people close to the sport faced unexpected problems and received help without publicity. He mentioned examples involving Armenian fighters, saying that when someone crashed a car or struggled during retirement, Dana was there to send extra money and offer support. According to Arman, Dana takes care of fighters he likes and respects, and that loyalty matters to him. While Arman acknowledged that not everyone receives the same treatment, he still showed appreciation for the way Dana looks after his own. The comments added a new layer to their relationship, showing respect alongside frustration. It reflected growth, patience, respect, perspective, clarity, confidence, purpose. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to support the channel. Moving on to another news. Daniel Cormier has responded to Jon Jones after Jon took shots at him in a recent interview. Daniel appeared on the Ariel Helwani show and addressed the comments head-on, making it clear where he stands with his longtime rival. Jon had spoken to Red Corner MMA about their time filming a reality project together, accusing Daniel of being difficult, disrespectful to staff, and bossy throughout the process. Daniel did not shy away from the criticism and acknowledged hearing the comments. He explained that while Jon may feel that way about him, it does not define who he is as a person. Daniel pointed out that many people who have worked closely with him over the years do not share that same view. He said that hearing those comments was interesting, but he also accepted that Jon is entitled to his own perspective. Daniel went on to explain that during filming, they were around each other every single day and managed to remain cordial. He said there were moments where they even laughed together and kept things professional. However, Daniel made it very clear that being cordial does not mean being friends. He stated that if he does not have to be around Jon, he will not choose to spend time with him voluntarily, and he sees nothing wrong with that. Daniel emphasized that he no longer carries the same emotional anger he once had toward Jon, but that does not erase the past. He reminded everyone that their rivalry went far beyond competition, including deeply personal attacks and negative comments about each other's families. According to Daniel, those things cannot simply be brushed aside or forgotten. He also addressed Jon's history and controversies, saying that he does not feel obligated to excuse or overlook those actions just to make peace. Daniel explained that forgiving everything and pretending it was all fine would not be honest or real. Instead, he believes in mutual respect and professionalism without forcing a friendship that does not exist. Daniel concluded by saying that he can work alongside Jon, be respectful, and handle business like a professional. However, he does not need to be his friend to do that. In his words, he is a grown man, comfortable with his boundaries, and at peace with where things stand today. Moving on to another news. Islam Makhachev recently opened up about what truly surprised him during his dominant win over JDM at UFC 322 back in November. The performance was one of the most controlling displays of grappling in a championship fight, and many fans still talk about how little space JDM had to operate. Islam controlled the fight for over 75% of the 25-minute contest, racking up an incredible 19 minutes and 10 seconds of control time. In a new interview with Match TV, Islam explained that what shocked him most was how limited JDM's options were once the fight hit the ground. Islam said his team studied JDM closely before the fight and paid special attention to his previous bout against Bilal Muhammad, another fighter known for strong wrestling pressure. While JDM did a solid job getting back to his feet in that fight, Islam noticed a clear pattern in how those escapes happened. According to Islam, JDM relied on the same reversal every single time. Islam said that once he recognized that pattern during the fight, everything became clear. When Islam took JDM down and felt him attempt that same reversal, he was already prepared. He shut it down immediately and realized that there was nothing else coming. From that moment on, Islam knew the fight was completely under his control. Islam admitted that he was genuinely surprised JDM had not developed additional ways to stand back up. He said that after defending that one move, JDM had no other tools to rely on. That realization allowed Islam to settle in, apply pressure, and keep JDM pinned to the mat round after round. Watching the fight back, it becomes obvious how little time JDM spent striking, as he was constantly trapped under Islam's grappling dominance. Islam added that if they ever meet again in the future, he expects JDM to make improvements. Still, that night showed the gap in grappling awareness and why Islam's preparation and adaptability continue to separate him from the rest of the division. Moving on to another news, a major shakeup has hit UFC 324 as Kayla Harrison has officially been forced out of her highly anticipated fight against Amanda Nunes. According to a report from the Eagle Tribune, which broke the story days before it gained traction, Kayla was removed from the card due to herniated discs in her neck. She underwent surgery earlier this week to address the issue, immediately putting her matchup with Amanda on hold. With Harrison out, Sean O'Malley has now been elevated to the co-headlining spot on the card. The news sent shockwaves through the MMA community, especially with this being the first ever Paramount card. Many fans were disappointed as the event had already faced criticism and this fight was seen as a major selling point. However, the reactions did not stop there. Several fighters and even athletes from outside MMA quickly offered to step in and face Amanda Nunes on short notice. One of the most notable offers came from boxing star Amanda Serrano, who took to X and publicly expressed interest in the challenge. She praised Amanda Nunes as the greatest of all time in women's MMA and made it clear that her offer came with respect. Serrano highlighted her background in MMA and jiu-jitsu, her continued training in wrestling and striking, and her belief that competing on the UFC's biggest stage is something every combat athlete dreams of. She emphasized her readiness and fight shape while wishing Kayla a smooth recovery. Despite the excitement around potential replacements, expectations are that the UFC will not rush anything. Current projections suggest that Kayla could be ready to return within 6 months. That timeline would place her potential comeback around June or July, which conveniently lines up with talk of the UFC White House card. This has fueled speculation that the promotion may simply delay the matchup rather than replace it. During a recent appearance on the Ariel Helwani show, Daniel Cormier shared his thoughts on the situation. He argued that the UFC should avoid booking Amanda Nunes in an interim title fight if Kayla is expected back within that time frame. His reasoning was simple. If Amanda were to return rusty, lose a fight, and damage her momentum, the promotion could lose the chance to fully capitalize on what Dana White himself has called the greatest women's fight of all time. Cormier also pointed out that Amanda does not need a belt to sell a super fight. Visually, two champions facing off is already compelling, regardless of official titles. The risk of booking an interim fight now may outweigh the reward, especially if patience preserves a historic showdown that still holds massive value for the UFC. Moving on to another news, Kayla Harrison has released a heartfelt video message following the announcement that she is out of her scheduled fight. In the short update, Kayla spoke directly to fans to explain the situation and share where she currently stands. She revealed that she had to undergo surgery on her neck and confirmed that the procedure took place in New York City with a specialist, Dr. Kim. Because of the surgery, the fight will now have to be rescheduled. Kayla expressed sincere disappointment and apologized to everyone involved. She specifically mentioned Amanda Nunes, saying she was truly looking forward to sharing the cage with her and was excited for the opportunity. She explained that this moment marks day one of her recovery and that the road back officially starts now. Despite the setback, Kayla maintained a calm and grateful mindset. She spoke openly about her faith, saying she does not always understand God's plans, but she believes He knows how important this dream is to her. Kayla said she is learning to give praise during both the high points and the low moments. She shared that she is thankful for the experience and hopes it brings her closer to her faith, allowing her story to be used in a meaningful way. Kayla closed the message by apologizing again to the fans and reassuring everyone that this is not the end. She confidently stated that she will be back soon, stronger and ready to continue her journey. Moving on to another news. Joe Pyfer has sent a strong and emotional warning ahead of his upcoming fight with Israel Adesanya at UFC Seattle this March. The matchup was announced a few days ago by Dana White, and it immediately caught fans off guard. Speaking with Ariel Helwani, Joe made it clear that while he respects Israel as a man and as a fighter, none of that respect will matter once the cage door closes. Joe explained that when they step inside the octagon, everything changes. He said Israel will be trying to take something from him, and he has no intention of letting that happen. Joe stressed that he is not afraid to swing big and that he plans to fight with full commitment and bad intentions. He described himself as someone who thrives in chaos, loves a real fight, and embraces the brawl. According to Joe, he is not there to play it safe, touch gloves, or pretend they are friends. He respects what Israel has accomplished, but he is coming to take his spot. Joe added that he will not be gun-shy and will not hesitate to open up with heavy shots. He said his goal is to impose himself fully, exchange bombs, and leave everything inside the cage. At the same time, he mentioned that he hopes both fighters walk away healthy afterward, but made it clear that during the fight, there will be no holding back. Interestingly, Joe also admitted that he does not necessarily believe he deserves this fight more than others. He said he is grateful to be the one who received the call and understands that many fighters could have been chosen instead. He contrasted this opportunity with a potential fight against Paulo Costa, saying that matchup did not excite him because it would not move him far in the rankings. With Paulo ranked higher but inactive, Joe felt that beating him would only help maintain his position rather than elevate his name. Joe emphasized that fighting Israel was not even on his radar, and when the offer came, he felt thankful and motivated. He also threw his name into the mix for a possible UFC White House card, calling himself one of the most American fighters on the roster. He said he is campaigning for American-themed UFC shorts and is open to being part of that event, even though he does not yet know who the opponent would be. Borrallo later poked fun at the situation online, mocking the comments about Paulo Costa. For now, all eyes remain on UFC Seattle, where Joe Pyfer has the biggest opportunity of his career and a chance to shock the world with a statement performance. Moving on to another news, Sean O'Malley has reacted after being promoted to the co-main event of UFC 324 following the withdrawal of Kayla Harrison. With the original fight now off the card, the UFC officially moved Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong into the co-headlining spot. At the same time, Rose Namajunes versus Natalia Silva was shifted up to the main card to help strengthen the lineup for the first ever Paramount card. Sean shared his reaction on social media in a lighthearted and surprised moment after hearing the news. When he found out that Kayla was out, his immediate response showed both excitement and disbelief as he realized he was now co-headlining UFC 324. The moment quickly made the rounds online, with fans reacting to Sean's laid-back but confident attitude. As of now, it is still unclear whether Sean's fight with Song Yadong will be extended to 5 rounds or remain a 3-round bout. With the stakes higher and the spotlight brighter, all eyes are on what decision the UFC will make for this upgraded matchup. Moving on to another news, the MMA community has gone off on Dana White after Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez shared his experience on the Ariel Helwani show. Anthony revealed that the UFC nearly prevented him from representing Mexico during his walkouts and even made him provide proof of his heritage. According to Hernandez, the promotion required him to submit birth certificates, not just for himself, but also for both of his grandparents, just to prove he had the right to represent the country. Anthony explained that the process was frustrating but necessary, and that he does not receive any special treatment. Hernandez, who is currently on an impressive 8-fight winning streak, emphasized that everything he's achieved has been earned through hard work. He said, "There's no special treatment here. I have to go earn everything. Unfortunately, that's how my life's always been." He described jumping through hoops to locate his grandparents' birth certificates and verify that they were from Mexico, so he could honor his heritage. Anthony stressed that his connection to Mexico is genuine, as his father is from there, and his mother's family also has Mexican roots. He acknowledged that while he is American and has lived in the US, representing Mexico is deeply personal for him. The MMA community quickly reacted to Anthony's story, pointing out the inconsistency in how fighters are allowed to represent certain countries. Fans highlighted examples of fighters being allowed to represent regions without proof, including Diego Lopez representing Mexico, Raul Rosa Jr. switching representation for PR purposes, and Sean O'Malley headlining because his daughter is half Mexican. Some fans also cited Brandon Allen walking out as a Canadian in his home state of Louisiana, despite no clear connection, calling the UFC's rules nonsense and reverse ice. Many voices in the community criticized the promotion for favoritism and double standards, noting that privileged fighters often receive exceptions while others must prove their eligibility. Anthony's story resonated widely, with fans speculating that similar situations may have happened to other fighters who simply never spoke up. His experience has sparked debate on whether fighters should be allowed to represent any country or region they identify with, regardless of birth certificates or technical documentation, and whether UFC policies unfairly target those without special influence. The situation has put Dana White and the promotion under scrutiny for inconsistent treatment of their fighters. Moving on to another news, Islam Makhachev has made his stance very clear regarding a potential fight with Ilia at lightweight. Speaking in a recent interview with Match TV, Islam said he is open to the matchup itself, but completely shut down the idea of returning to the 155 division to make it happen. According to Islam, going back down simply does not make sense at this stage of his career. Islam explained that he already held the lightweight belt and left the division undefeated as champion. In his words, no one beat him there, and he chose to move up after accomplishing everything he needed to at 155. Dropping back down just to fight for another belt does not interest him, and he made it clear that he has no intention of reversing his move up in weight. He added that if Ilia truly wants the fight, the path is simple. Ilia can move up to face him. Islam pointed out that Ilia has nothing to lose by moving up a division. If Ilia were to lose, he could simply return to lightweight and continue defending his belt there. Islam, on the other hand, feels he has already paid his dues at lightweight and has no reason to go backwards. Islam also stressed that it would not make sense for him to call out someone from a lower weight class who has not yet proven himself in the lightweight division. He said Ilia still has a lot of work to do at 155 and needs to establish himself before being discussed in that context. To underline that point, Islam mentioned that Arman has been calling Ilia out consistently, pushing for a fight at lightweight. From Islam's perspective, that is where Ilia's focus should remain, while Islam continues his journey forward, not backward. Moving on to another news, Merab has sparked fresh excitement around a possible super fight involving Ilia and Islam Makhachev. In a recent interview, Merab revealed that he has been in contact with Ilia and received some interesting information regarding the situation. According to Merab, Ilia shared details that suggest a fight with Islam could be closer than many people expect. Merab said that Ilia versus Islam is something being discussed behind the scenes and that the timeline may surprise fans. While no official announcement has been made, the comments hint that serious conversations are already happening. If true, this could be one of the biggest matchups the sport has seen in recent years. That's it from MMA Pulse News. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for your daily dose of MMA news.